I mean, everyone watches her rolling videos for two reasons. They're informative and hot chick. I mean, come on. But that's honestly, having zero mats be able to do that, honestly makes it more powerful just because of Doom Dragon. You get this out, you zero mats you destroy everything on the field and attack directly. I mean.
And you know what? I think that the reason that I don't really like zero max is because I don't have those barriers, and because I don't have those barriers, I don't bring out Doom Dragon as much as I would if I did have barriers, and so therefore it wouldn't get destroyed, and then I wouldn't be able to use zero max. And as soon as I have barriers, though, I'll probably test out that because
having the barriers is basically, it's like you're always going, and it's like, okay, what do I want to bring up first? This or this? Then you're like,
exactly.
Okay, what game will Doom Dragon bring me over Void Ogre? Doom Dragon will allow me to use my barriers I just searched for, where Void Ogre it's always just...
Yeah, it's like, you bring out Void Ogre, you can negate a spell trap card per turn, but monster effects screw you over. They can easily go Kageki into hand, into tribute to destroy. Over Doom Dragon, you can get that barrier, and then they activate their monster effect, and it's gone. But also, they can MST a barrier. You're adding a barrier to your hand. You're setting a barrier. They see where you set it. It ain't like it's a blind MST. They know where you set it.
Yeah.
The advantage is...
Go ahead.
The advantage is, though, that you can get multiple barriers, and so you can get multiple negations. But, I mean, sometimes it is better to bring out that Void Ogre Dragon.
Now, what is your final strategy that you always want to do? Like your win condition?
My win condition usually is to bring out Void Ogre as fast as possible. Not because Void Ogre is like best card ever. It is a power card. Definitely is a power card, but because of the intimidation. If you bring out your Shien, if you're playing Six Samurai, they know, crap, I'm going to go minus because I have to, first off, either get over this monster where I'm going to have to overextend, or I'm going to have to use two Spell Traps, and I really don't want to do that. Whereas Void Ogre Dragon is a huge monster to get over. I mean, if you bring that out against Six Samurai, they really have nothing to do except for go Kagemusha hand, destroy. And in that case, you probably have something to show. I mean, I'm talking about Six Samurais a lot because my brother runs Six Samurai.
Yeah. That's normal. I mean, you say what you know. You don't really want to go away from that. I understand that. It's like, in any explanation I do for my videos, I normally talk about Infernos just because I know them so well.
Yeah, you do what you feel comfortable with because there's room for error if you're talking about something that you're not really confident about.
There's something that... Okay. I just had it. Okay. For, do you only focus on getting Void Ogre out, or do you want to get Void Ogre with a few other monsters, or what?
Actually, I find that a lot of the time when I get Void Ogre Dragon out, there's enough material there for me to get another level 8 out. Because when I get Void Ogre Dragon out, it's not because I had those extra cards laying out around the field. It's because I have set up properly, and I either drew into my Mirage at the right time, or I drew into my Launcher at the right time. And so, having Avenger, Necromancer, and Archfiend in the grave, when you have that Mirage or your Launcher, it allows, since you've set up properly, it allows you to go into those multiple synchros. And I guess that's the answer to your question that you originally said, is that that would be my win condition, is properly setting up, and then either top decking, adding, or just having that Launcher or Mirage to go into your combos, and ultimately control the game from then on out.
So that brings me to the next question. So you're more of a control player than an OTK player, right?
Yes. I feel that with OTK, if your opponent hasn't gone through their power cards yet, with OTK you want to kind of get it off fast. It's a faster, more unstable way of playing, and it has its advantages and it has its disadvantages. Going for an OTK, the disadvantages would obviously be you can easily get effect dealers. You can easily get zero max if your opponent hasn't really brought up those. Whereas in a more controlled build, if you're going slower, your opponent can drop that effect dealer and can drop that maxi at times where you probably really wouldn't mind because you're playing that controlling playstyle.
They just set you back a turn and you can go back
Exactly.
where you were in that turn. Now, for me, my win condition is, I had treated a video of it. I always want to get these two out by the second turn. And if I don't have these two out by the second turn, I normally go into secondary where I always want to get Mistworm out to get their back row to the hand, so I feel more secure about bringing these guys out.
Yeah.
Which honestly is, I like the controlled ones, but I don't. I like the OTK where you get all the monsters out, but I don't like it where it's OTK, destroy them in one turn. I like it.
You see. What I like about the OTK is that if you do get your OTK off, and you do have a field of those big monsters, if they've survived, then you're in control. Because those big monsters provide control, and so it kind of has a small aspect of control in that, with that idea.
I kind of try to make it to where I just get two big monsters out. I can't OTK them, where I'd only be able to do about the max 600 or 6,000 points of damage. So next turn it would be game if they don't have anything. To where OTK is you get that third monster out and you attack them directly.
Yeah.
Feel a little uncomfortable with your brothers right there?
Yeah, I'm just worried about them coming downstairs and making some kind of noise.
Don't bother. I mean,
yeah.
It's not... Go ahead.
Continue.
I was going to ask you what your thoughts about 100 Eyes is.
The 100 Eyes, with Brian Hack gone, I kind of have given up on 100 Eyes. Just because 100 Eyes, in my opinion, it is most likely different with all different kinds of Inferno players. In my opinion, the only reason that Void Ogre was good at 2s and 3s was because of the loop, and now the loop's dead because of Brian Hack. I mean, unless somebody thinks of something, which, they probably will, and it comes back. But, I mean, I tech only one because I can remove from play Necromancer and bring out other cards.
I also just tech in one, but I do a little bit more. I mean, I play Mirage, so I have the ability to banish Mirage, do all that.
Yeah.
Which I think you run one Mirage, right?
Yeah, I want to only run Mirage because
too many.
Yeah, I said in my video that running only one Mirage eliminates the possibility of opening up with 2, and even if you open up with 1, it still gets into the graveyard for that effective 100 Eyes play.
Yeah, but that's the only reason I used to play it at 2 and be like, okay, this is very good. But then it's like I would just start getting one in my first hand. I'm like, I can't. I want to summon it, but I have to send it to the grave so I can use my other effects. And it's like playing at 1 eliminates that.
There were times where while I was running Mirage at 2, I tried taking in a Phantom Chaos. Don't do that. For anybody who's watching this video, do not do that. It doesn't work.
Phantom Chaos? Honestly, I don't remember what that does.
It's a level 4 Dark Fiend type monster with 0 attack and 0 defense. Its effect is that you can remove from play a dark monster in your graveyard to have it gain.
I remember what it is now.
Yes, attack, defense level, and effect. But because it gains the attack and defense and whatnot, its other effect is that it can't deal damage to your opponent. So you mainly use it for the effect.
Yeah. And you said don't do that?
Yeah.
What did you find problems with it?
I find problems because, first off, when you're doing that, when you're running the furnace just came on. I don't know if you can hear that.
Not really.
Okay, good. Anyway, the disadvantages to doing that is that it's just an extra monster that isn't useful.
Unless you have the Mirage.
Yeah, the only real use for it is removing your Mirage or your Necromancer. And in any cases, it's just much better to play your Necromancer. A monster won't do anything. The good part about it, I guess, is that you could remove your Synchros, and use their effect.
Well, with 100 eyes, you can do Stygiant. You can do Stygiant, 100 eyes. 100 eyes gain Stygiant's effect.
Yeah.
Which I did that against a Monarch deck. They got rid of my Void Ogre and my Stygiant and left me with 100 eyes. Banned Stygiant for 100 eyes, attack for gain.
Yeah.
And that's honestly really one of the only reasons I keep it in there, because just in case I can do that. Because it's just so good, because you turn him to a 38. I mean, it's just nice.
Yeah.
Now, I do want to ask another thing. What SYZs do you prefer in your Esther deck?
In my Infinity builds, I only run 5 Exceed monsters. I run Wind-Up Zenmain, Levia the Sea Dragon, the Leviathan Dragon, for the level 3. And then for the level 4s, I run a Yugitopia and a Photon Patholocker. I mean, those are the only ones that I use, and I'll explain it if you want to.
Well, before we get that, I want to ask you, Maestro, do you like him, or is there a reason you don't choose him? Because, I mean, him and Photon are pretty good together.
Yeah. The reason, I guess, I mean, I really don't have a reason for not running him other than I want to keep the Xyz count to 5.
Well,
and I don't want to
you could take out Yugitopia for him.
Yeah, but the thing with Yugitopia is that it provides protection, and on the other hand, it also has 2,500 attack, and I know it kind of seems like that would only have a limited use, but it is serious. It's actually a lot better than I make it sound, because 2,500 attack can get over a lot of things that 1,800 can't.
Now, okay, I have to ask this before I talk about say what I'm going to say. Okay. Have you ever played Gem Knight Pearl?
Not in Infernity.
Okay.
No, not in Infernity.
I have a deep hatred for Gem Knight Pearl, because that has to be the most useless SYZ ever.
You can't detach, and so your Archfiend, which you're most likely going to be using to overlay with, unless it's your 2 warriors, which would be Armageddon Knight. And also, I have a question for you about the Armageddon Knight and Dark Griffers after this. It is pretty useless, and that's why I never chose to run it, because of that.
Oh, I don't just say it's useless for just Infernos. I just say it's a bad card in general for every deck. There's only one situation where I would see it being good, and that's in something like Heroes, where their normal attack, they either have diffusion or just have their monsters out, and their monsters aren't really big besides Alias.
Yeah, and even in Heroes, if you were going to be going into Gem Knight Pearl, you have something better to go into.
That's it.
Which would...
You have Excalibur, Blade Armor Ninja, just other options that are good. Honestly, I ripped one on camera. Gem Knight Pearl just ripped one on camera because I just hate it so much.